Sir, go ahead.
Okay. 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 Fine. A very good afternoon and a warm welcome to all the dignitaries assembled here. And my special welcome to Dr. Arulmurugan, sir. Welcome, sir, on this virtual platform. To begin with, SPSS, that is Statistical Package for Social Sciences, as we all know, are familiar with in our discourse of research endeavors. Yet, it happens to be a nightmare for research aspirants at the initial stages of research. To break down the complexity of this software, we have a very eminent resource person amidst us, and he is none other than Dr. V. Arulmurugan, sir. With an enriching experience of over 19 years in teaching, research, and extension and social outreach initiatives in University of Madras, Manonniyam Sundaranar University, and Pondicherry University, sir is presently serving as Assistant Professor, Stage 3, and Research Supervisor in Department of Commerce, School of Management, Pondicherry University, Karaikal campus. Apart from holding a doctorate in commerce under logistics science, he has qualified UGC NET JRF and UGC NET management. Sir has guided 14 MPhil research scholars, 108 postgraduate students, and presently guiding 2 PhD doctoral research scholars. A recipient of 30 awards and recognitions, including 6 times Best Teacher Awards of Pondicherry University based on students' evaluation. Triple gold medals, Bharat Ratna Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Gold Medal, Vyasa Bank Gold Medal, and Bank of Maharashtra Gold Medal for MPhil degree. Best research paper from LIC of India and awards under National Service Scheme are his major accolades. Sir has to his credit nearly 23 research articles in UGC listed and indexed journals and presented 42 research papers in national and international seminars and conferences. Dr. Arulmurugan, sir, has also completed an ICSSR major research project as project co-director and delivered around 260 talks as guest speaker in national and international forums. Organizing over 52 programs inclusive of workshops in the field of entrepreneurship has also been on academic forums in the capacity of research advisor and BOS expert member in higher education institutions. Sir has been mentoring researchers, UGC NetSet and civil service aspirants, career guidance and counseling and social outreach programs on youth empowerment with the motto, be selfish to help others. And sir, I salute you for this maxim. To sum up, he is an inspirational speaker, writer-specific researcher, data analyst, career counselor, and socio-technocrat. We welcome you, sir, on this virtual dais, and it is indeed our honor and privilege to have you amidst us. Especially for the research scholars who are craving for quality research. Welcome you, sir. Welcome once again. Over to you. I request sir to kindly take over the dais.
Thanks a lot, Dr. Rahul Shetty and the entire organizing team, and as well as the ICSSR and the college for taking an initiative to reach the researchers in a bigger way, especially online in this pandemic, to equip themselves in research. So before I get into, I'd like to thank and also appreciate the organizing team for making it possible. What do you call it as taking any knowledge to the needy, especially in a nationwide. That's possible because of the pandemic and the technology we have. And we do agree there are certain technical crunch which happens, but it's like end of the day, everything goes on. Once it gets into. So thanks a lot for Dr. Rahul for it and making me to reach people in and around what do you call it as the whole nation as such. Probably I don't know, like maybe audience from the other countries also, because it's an online. We cannot restrict ourselves as national or international. It's truly online, so we can reach everywhere. So with this note, I like to congratulate and thank all the participants who have been there for this program and you have listened and what you call as inferred so much of knowledge till today and probably in the next few days. And with this note, I like to know, because you know that what is the title of the session today, and I like to know from the fellow participants that what kind of expectations you have. You can post it in the chat box. Just few lines. What is your expectation from this? Then based on your expectation, I think I can what you call it as structure my presentation. So what is your expectation? I think basics of data analytics using SPSS. That is what Dr. Rahul has vested on us to discuss today for next an hour. So what is your expectation? Probably by the time, learning to know how to use SPSS in our research. Great, Reshmi. We'll be looking on basics of SPSS. Great. Okay. How to do different tests. Okay. Okay. We will try to make it. SPSS analysis. So end of the day, probably like the inputs which you have given as your expectation. So probably like we'll be touching upon a few nuances for 15 to 20 minutes. Then directly I will take you with the what you call as with the SPSS package, how it can be done, especially for beginners. So most important thing here is that many people do a lot of analysis with a ready reckoning, what you call it as the data file. But once as a researcher, we cannot go with a ready data file as normally in workshops we have. Ultimately, as a researcher, we need to collect the data, we need to feed the data based on our research objective, and we need to analyze it. So in that case, like probably like today's session will give you a clarity that how you can enter the data and make an analysis, and probably like whatever time possible we can make it out, and probably we'll try to concentrate on univariate and bivariate. Probably multivariate, it may not be possible today. And probably there are so many sessions which I could see that Dr. Rahul has scheduled, which will give you an insight towards that. So with this note, I'm just getting into the, somebody was asking about AMOS. Probably we may not touch AMOS today. We will be touching only the SPSS package, because we have two different packages given by IBM. One is SPSS, the other one is SPSS AMOS, exclusively for a model called as SIM. Probably that will be touched little later. Okay, so I'm just getting into this presentation. I'm just sharing my screen. Zoom, we can share only one what do you call it, straight. Probably like I think can anyone help me out? Is it viewable?
Yes, sir, it's visible. It's
great,
visible.
great. Thank you. So basics of data analytics using SPSS, and probably like I just want to rush up few slides because we have been hearing a lot on research. But whenever we talk about research, I normally move towards scientific research. So whether you are from science background or from social sciences, you need to understand what is scientific research. And to do that scientific research, we need to know what is data analytics and what are the statistical tools which are with this data analytics, and how this is done with SPSS. So this is what we are going to discuss today. And the first phase, we'll discuss what is scientific research in a few minutes. Then we'll move on to data analytics. Then we'll move on to software, how to use the software. So whenever we say scientific research, three important things we need to understand. One is scientific research process, scientific research approach, and scientific research process. Whenever we look into the research, and the simple difference is ultimately, researching of any information is what is called as a research. Basically, finding new things are research. Fact-finding process, because research is not something which you find, something which should be a fact, it should not be a false. And most important thing is that identifying a problem and finding a solution to a problem. All these things, like by the time you would have been much aware, if you are a researcher of an experience and researcher of a budding. So ultimately, like these things, we normally do it with rule of thumb. And when we do rule of thumb, like it depends on the discipline, on the what you call as domain. But whenever these things are done in a systematic way, these things are done with a based on certain scientific and universally accepted guidelines and principles, which we call as scientific method. So if you want to do research, please do it with scientific thinking. And the scientific research approach in general, there are so many, if you look into any books, but there are two things. One is descriptive and exploratory research. If you are going to explain as it is, then it is called as descriptive research. And if you are putting your thinking, your attitude, your perception, your idea, and your opinion into that, then we call it as exploratory research. And most of the research moves on exploratory rather than descriptive. And the other side, we have like qualitative, where we don't use any numerical into any research. And if you are going with the conceptual observations, ultimately it is qualitative. And if you are going to work or justify or prove or disprove the thinking or an idea with the numerical data, then it is called as quantitative research. These all you know that. And beyond that, we have a mixed approach. Today, many research are going on with the descriptive and exploratory, or qualitative and quantitative, or what you call it as this kind of mixed approach is going with what you call as behavioral sciences. If you are looking on behavioral sciences or behavioral finance, normally mixed approach are adopted. Beyond this, we have a case study, right? If you are going to analyze any sample with one unit, maybe one individual or one group or one industry or one economy, then it is called as case study. So this is what normally, maybe you would have heard of so much, but to make it more precise, this is what I want to just make it. And when you see the scientific research process, see, ultimately, like there are people talk about 5 steps, 6 steps. Sorry, in my opinion, a scientific research process involves 10 steps, because research is never ending. So you need to define the research problem. I think Madam Kanari Thakur would have told you on that, how to define a research problem with review of literature, drafting the objectives and hypotheses. Once you find your research issue, then you have to draft the objectives, and each objectives can have an hypothesis also. And beyond that, how to do it? You can do it with methodology. Then you have to design your research and make a, if you are going for a survey, then you have to design it. And based on that, you have to go for data collection. And probably after collecting the data, we move on to a stage called as data analytics. That is what we are going to discuss in this session. And after doing that, you'll be making your report. Probably if you are going to write a thesis, or if you are going to write a dissertation, or if you are going to write a project report, or if you are going to come out with a publication of a research article or a research paper. So ultimately, you will be writing it. Then you'll be submitting for evaluation, and once it is evaluated by the experts, then you will be going for a presentation. If it is a PhD, then you will be going for a vivace or pre-PhD vivace. Then if you are going for a paper, then you will be submitting to a publisher, or what you call as the journal. Ultimately, then you will be going for it. And once you complete your research, end of the day, always there will be a cap or any kind of research, and ultimately we'll be doing further research. So if you are going to work in an area, and if you dedicatedly do research in this angle, as I suggested, scientific research approach and process, if you accumulate, then ultimately, like, you will be landing up in finding out a research gap for further research. So that is what I mean to say. There are 10 steps involved, and this will get continued based on your research. If you are doing your master's, or if you are doing your PhD, then you'll be completing it. Then you'll be working for your project, funded projects. Then you may be working for publication. So these are the 3 things normally, like any faculty member in higher education is looked for. Maybe an academic degree, or a funded project, or publications. Publications in the name of publishing in a journal, publishing in what you call as presenting in the programs of seminar and symposium or conferences, or writing a book, or going for creating an edited volume. So these are some of the things where we use our research. And in that angle only, that data analytics comes into picture. So once you are getting into scientific research, and if you are moving on to quantitative research, not qualitative, quantitative research, then you'll be involving in a numerical data, and which we will be concentrating on it. And the second phase, you need to understand what is the need for application of SPSS, because now you understood what is scientific research, and now you need to understand what is data analytics and what is the need for application of this SPSS or the software package. See, ultimately, like maybe if you are interested, we can interact. If the organizers are allowing us to unmute and speak, fine, because we have only limited people. So may I know how many colors are there in this? How many colors? Any idea? And which is more, which is less? Any idea about that? If you can put it in the chat box also if you want. I'm looking
Yes,
into the
sir.
chat box.
You all can post your answers in the chat box. Yes.
Yeah, because like a little interaction is more necessary. And yellow, 5, 4. So you find yellow color. Okay. 7. Equally yellow and blue. Okay. Okay. Right. So this is what we normally call. Thanks for all your responses. And this is what red, multicolored, a nice answer to be here. So see, this is what it happens. Like whenever you have a data, we may not be very clear on what is it. It's a raw data which is available for any kind of research. When you go for yellow is maximum. Let us see. And this data analytics is required. Further, I'm moving on one more step. Like if you look at now, tell me how many colors are. I'm just sorting out the data. I'm just sorting out the data which is available with me. So now you tell me how many colors are there and what are the colors. Now we are moving to the second stage of data analytics. So somebody is finding 8 colors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 colors. Somebody is saying 7 colors. Okay. And right, which one is highest? Which one is highest? Among these, by looking into now, it will be easy to identify. Let us reserve your answer. Okay, yellow seems to be highest. Many of you are saying that yellow seems to be highest. Okay, okay. I'm moving on to the next step. Just check it out. I'm just arranging the data. Right? Normally we use what you call as the arranging the data with the help of some graphs or so. So now you tell me which one is highest. I'm just arranging it. Again, people are saying it is yellow. But finally, when you go for a systematic way of scientific doing it, for example, when I go for what you call it as presenting it visually with the help of a simple tool called as bar chart. Now, can you tell me how many colors are there? Which color is highest? Which color is lowest? Now you see Sarkar, Plami Sarkar is saying that it is red. Till now we were saying it is yellow. Now it is red. It is not yellow. It is red ultimately. And which is the lowest one? You may be having a shocking. It is not 8 colors. It is 9 colors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 colors. And ash, which you could see here, ash is structured here. We couldn't see in the raw data, but as this is what the data analytics gives us a clarity. Whenever we have a raw data, whenever we make the data analytics process involved, and whenever we apply statistical tools based on its objective, based on its purpose, then ultimately we can land up in coming out of a meaningful decision or meaningful finding from our data analytics. Hope you would have got what is the purpose of moving towards data analytics with the help of statistical tools, with the help of the software. Hope you got it, right? So with this basic note, I'm just moving on to the next one to make you understand in an analytical perspective. There are so many ways in which you can explain the data analytics, but whenever you are using one single research variable at a time, for example, if you want to do any research, take it into consideration of behavioral sciences. For example, you want to find out the perception. So perception on certain things, that perception becomes one single variable. Maybe if you have a secondary data, for example, inflation. Inflation is another variable. May I know what are the disciplines you have here? Can you put it in the chat box? What are the disciplines we have? Like what do you call it as? Probably like management, commerce, economics, okay, social sciences, right? Any other discipline? Based on that, I'll structure my IT. Anjita, okay, IT. So based on that, I will structure my discussion. So we have commerce, economics, management, IT. Any other beyond this in our audience? Any other beyond this? Oh, cultural studies. Okay, great. For example, if you are taking a studies on culture, for example, you want to study cross-culture relationship. So cross-culture relationship is one variable, right? So we have to find out how many research variables we have. Okay, how many research variables we have? Banking, okay, fine, it comes in finance and it comes in management of commerce or economics. So one single research variable in your study, and if you are going to analyze that, then we call that as univariate analytics. Then we call that as univariate analytics. And if you have two variables, for example, in your research, if you are going ahead with the banking, you want to analyze the deposits, you want to analyze the loan. And if you want to analyze deposit is one variable, loan is another variable. And if you are going to analyze these two variables, right, whether deposit and loans has any influence each other, then it is called as bivariate analytics, right? And if you have more than two variables or three or more, then we call it as multivariate analytics. And it again depends on you to decide in your research whether you are going to consider only one variable, whether you are going to consider two variables, whether you are going to consider more than two variables. And the entire data analytics can be classified in this angle for analysis, whether you are going to do univariate analytics, bivariate analytics, or multivariate data analytics. And there are certain statistical tools which are there specifically created by statisticians and experts to make an analysis for single data, single variable and the two variables and more than two variables, right? Right. Now, this is more important to make you understand. Whenever we are going for any statistical tools, there are so many softwares. You can see analytical softwares, which we have manually did. And now we have so many softwares. For example, you have MS Excel, which is a very basics. Then you have SPSS, SPSS Amos, Lizrel, Visual PLS, GPower, Grittle, eViews, MATLAB, Vega, Strata, SAS, R, Tableau, Python, n number of things, depending on the discipline. And mostly looking into the what you call it as the disciplines that the participants are there. Mostly we use SPSS, SPSS Amos. If we have a secondary data, we may use eViews. Mostly in economics, we use eViews. And remaining things, if you want, you can use it. And it depends on. Today, we are going to only consider SPSS as such. And I could see in your schedule, there are other softwares also. They are going to use it in a practical way. And whenever you are doing any research for your information, the univariate tools normally broadly we use is percentage analysis. Whenever you collect any data, we use percentage analysis, we use mean score analysis, and we go for ranking, right? And we have two data, like we have two data sets, like two variables. Normally, we find out the association between two variables or difference between the groups of a variable. Then if you want to find the association, we normally use chi-square test. If you want to find out the difference between groups on a variable, like male and female, how they are differing in a perception on certain variables, then they normally go for t-test or ANOVA. If we have two groups, we go for t-test of a differential statistics. If we have three groups, then we go for ANOVA. These are the basic univariate and bivariate techniques or tools, statistical tools, which are used to analyze the data in the preliminary aspects of any research with the help of statistical packages. And if you want to go a little more, probably if you have more variables in your research, for example, you want to come out with the a measurement scale. I think the next session we are going to discuss on that tomorrow, I suppose. So measurement scale, then ultimately, like you have to go for checking out the reliability analysis. You can go for factor analysis. You can find the factors which are influencing on certain things. Then you can group your respondents with the help of cluster analysis, and you can discriminate whether the discriminant between these clusters or to the maximum that we can find out with discriminant analysis. Then we can go for correspondence analysis. If you want to map and see that how each one is associated, right? Whether a male and female is associated with what kind of perception. So ultimately, correspondence analysis. Then if you want to correlate, you can go for a simple correlation or a rank correlation or multiple correlation. Then if you want to find out influence of independent variable on a different variable, then we go for multiple regression analysis. For example, if you have more number of independent research variables and you want to find out their influence on a dependent variable or an outcome of your research, then we normally go for multiple regression analysis. And if any mediating or moderating variable, if you want to introduce, then we use structural equation modeling. So structural equation modeling is a little advanced of multiple regression analysis, where you can do it with SPSS most. And beyond that, we normally work on a linear data. But whenever you want to work on a non-linear data, when you work on a linear data, you go for multiple regression or structural equation modeling. When you have a non-linear data, then you can go for a neural network analysis, which I have used in my PhD thesis. So these are the tools in general that you can find it, what you call it as, you can use it with the SPSS and you can make an analysis. So whatever time zone we have, we'll be going on it. If you have anything, you can put it in the chat box. I'm giving you a chat box also side by side. Then and there we can clarify and move on. Right. Now, we are going to the core. As I promised, within 20 minutes, I've just briefed you what is scientific research, what is data analytics, what is the purpose of data analytics, what are the tools available, and what are the softwares available. Now we will move on to one software called as SPSS. We are moving on to the final part of discussion. That is what is using SPSS package, how we can make an analysis with a case. I'm going to do with a case to make it more practical. Before move on, opening out the SPSS file, let me make it very clear that which I'm going to use it at present. We have what you call as IBM SPSS software, which we call as statistical package for social sciences. I don't know how many of you are new for learning SPSS in this session. Anybody? Yeah, new. Okay. So I will concentrate on the people who are new, whereby those people who have experience of using SPSS can contribute, and you can also learn some of the nuances, whereby the expectation of Dr. Rahul Shetty will be fulfilled, because most of the participants, they want to know basically like how to start things. It's a very easy one. Thank you, Eudora. So we can make it out. So like first you need to understand whenever you want to use the SPSS package is that you need to install with your laptop or a computer. That's the basics that you need to have a software. And after that, you need to know the path for analysis. Like it's just like what you call it as having it in the mobile. Whenever you want to take your contact, how you'll be taking from your mobile. There are so many methods. In the same way, there are paths for analysis which you need to know. See, every statistical tool is programmed in the name of algorithm and which is programmed in the software. We use, for example, chi-square test. We used to take and we used to do manually. Expected, observed, and we used to do manually. But here, everything is input. So that entire formula, summation of that is entirely inbuilt in this. So it is written as an algorithm, it is a program, and it is there. This is a click of a button. We can get answers. So one is menu based, like going through a menu, we can select and we can come out to the conclusion. The other one is customized. For example, some tools may not be readily available in SPSS package where we need to customize that. Sometimes as a user, as a researcher, you will be in a position to program it. So going to the syntax of the algorithm which is there, and you need to make changes and which you can make it out. And whenever you use SPSS, there will be data worksheet. It is just like an advancement of what you call it as the Excel. And here you will not have one view. Here we will have a two view, double view in our data worksheet, which I'll be showing it. One view we call it as variable view. The other view is called as data view. In the variable view, we will be creating a database, right, of the details of the variable. After that, we'll be entering the relevant data which we have collected in the data view. Once that is ready, then we use path of analysis, whatever statistical tool is required. We, as a researcher, we need to justify. Computer will give garbage in, garbage out, but we need to justify that also. I will tell you today. and you'll be coming out with an output. Based on the output you are getting it, you need to be in a position to interpret that and put it in your record, put it in your draft, whether for publication or in a journal, or put it in the thesis. So there are different structures which we normally use it. Right. So moving on to the next point of discussion. This is more important what I'm going to discuss now. As a learner, you should learn. Most of the workshops, they don't tell you these secrets. See, SPSS, anyone can work. Once I complete this within next half an hour, you'll come to know that SPSS, anyone can work. But logically, you need to apply. So for that, first, you need to understand the research need and objectives. So SPSS package and surgical tools in it can be used based on your objectives. So once you have your objectives and you are collecting the data, then input the data, then you have to go for SPSS analysis part. You can see here, this is the way. If you have a notepad, try to note it down for some of the analysis I am going to make it. The same way in the future, somebody is using SPSS for advanced techniques, then you can easily note down that. For example, first we'll be looking on analyze, then we'll go in for the next stage, next link, and we'll have a dialog box. In the dialog box, we need to give certain information. Then if you give OK, then you will get an output. Okay. So once you get an output, then we need to interpret that. Then we have to put it in the report. This is what we are going to do. Okay. And we need to do. Now, with all these basic inputs, let me take you with a case. I think that will give you more clarity rather than simply discussing on it. So let us understand a case, a real research, and then we will move on to how to create it or how to feed this in SPSS, then how to save it, how to make an analysis, and how to interpret it. That is what we are going to see now. The case is very simple. You can just study here. You can just go through. Since most of us are faculty members, I have taken a common case. I have not taken anything related to a subject. I've taken a common case like student-teacher relationship in schools. So that's the title, student-teacher relationship in schools. So how we are going to understand the student-teacher relationship. In that angle, there are two perspectives. One is that you can go and ask the student and you can understand, or you can go to the teacher and ask and you can understand. So teacher can be a sample and student can be a sample. Here in our case, I have taken the teacher because I want an empowered respondent. So we have taken a teacher. So here the sample is teachers, and we want to find out what is the student-teacher relationship in their angle. For that, we have prepared a questionnaire. Okay, and keeping in mind, for example, we want to know what are the perception of a teachers on maintaining student-teacher relationship. Okay, and we have come out with what you call as 15 variables, 15 statements on a 5-point scale, Likert scaling. Right, by the time you would have understood all the nuances. Based on that, we adopted a questionnaire and modified it, and we have come out with that. Okay, so now I will show you that questionnaire. Then we will go for SPSS analysis. Is it okay? Did I making sense? Can we move on now to understand practically? Anyone can respond or put it in the chat box. Great, great.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Great, great. Are you able to see this questionnaire? So normally in a research, like we got Robert C. Pianka, who is a researcher in what you call as in education, has come out with 15 variables and 5-point scale, focusing on, or what you call it as, following this, we have come out with another questionnaire for our research. Okay. I think I've stopped it. No problem. I'll just open a questionnaire, then I'll share the slide. This is what happens with Zoom. I'm sharing it again, the questionnaire. So this is a questionnaire which I have prepared based on that. So this is what normally many researchers will be doing, at PhD scholars or if you are going for a application, or if you are doing 100 projects, or we are going for publication, we normally do this. So a study on student-teacher relationship in schools. So we have asked like what is their age group, right? So below 20 years, 20 to 40 years, above 40 years, their gender, their education, their occupation, their marital status, their annual income, their annual family income, their locality, their work experience. Beyond this, we have an instrument, we have a scaled instrument called as the perception of student-teacher relationship. For that, we have identified 15 variables, 15 statements on a 5-point scale from strongly agree to strongly disagree. So here you can see I share an affectionate, warm relationship with this child. If upset, this child will seek comfort from me. This child, and just think in the angle of a teacher, how you handle the students. This child and always seem to be trusting each other. This child values a relationship with me. This child spontaneously shares information about himself or herself. This child reaches me to get suggestions for problems faced. When I praise this child, he or she beams with pride. It is easy to be in tune with what this child is feeling. This child feels happy with my presence. This child is comfortable in sharing information with me. This child feels towards me, create confidence in both of us. This child openly shares his or her feelings and experience with me. This child easily becomes active. Here I mean child means student. My presence and into initiation. This child always has interest to get my suggestion. This child comes to me for selecting the right choices of decision. Just now I was showing colored pieces. So now we have 15 colored pieces. And what kind of analysis we are going to do? See, this 1-page questionnaire, an entire PhD can be completed for your information. And all those statistical tools I shown you in the slide, which can be done for this one single questionnaire, if you clearly understand. So this is a questionnaire which you prepare, and we have given to 30 respondents, 30 teachers, and we have collected it. How to go about it with SPSS? This is what I'm going to do it now. Thank you, Prashanti. So this is what I'm going to do it now. Okay, how to enter this with the help of SPSS. So let us understand that you have taken a printout of 30 and you have distributed to the teachers and you have collected the responses. Okay, so either they'll be giving strongly agree, neutral, disagree, or strongly disagree. So once it is there with the 30 copies you have there, then you have to go to SPSS. Now I'm moving and opening the SPSS. It will take few seconds. Please adjust with me. Once it is open, then I will come back. So you have to go to the, I think, new share again. I have to share the screen. Okay. So you have to open the SPSS. If you go to the what you call as, you can have a shortcut in the startup menu, or you will be having it in the coming up. It's getting up. It will take few seconds to get it open. So everything is set. Yeah. I have not shared anything. I'm just opening the SPSS file. Once it is open, then I'll share it. It is taking few seconds to get it open. This is what it happens sometimes. If you have any questions till now, I'll take it up. Once it is open, then we will go practically how to create that. Yeah, I got it. Yeah. So now the SPSS file is on. So this is what the SPSS file we have. Somebody is asking something. I'll check the chat box also. How to import data from Google Forms since data is collected online. Okay, we'll discuss later. What's the difference between cluster and stream? Okay, all these things we'll be discussing at the end. So now I'm just getting into. So now we have a SPSS file with us. So I have opened it. As I told you before, please remember that there is a data view, there is a variable view. So this screen is called as variable view, where you will find name, type, with decimals, label, values, missing columns. So once you open a SPSS file, it will be looking like this. Okay, just see, it looks like a SPS, the Excel file. On the top, you find variable, variable, variable. And this column we call as variables, variable 1, variable 2, variable 3, variable 4, variable 5, like that. And these rows 1, 2, 3 are normally called as respondents. So we will be creating a matrix. So looking into this, what you call it as the questionnaire, what it happens every time I have to do this. Okay.
Madam D'Souza, we can take the questions towards the end.
Yeah. So you see here, there is a question, right? So now I'm going to tell you how many variables are there. Can anyone put it in the chat box in this questionnaire? How many variables are there? Any idea? I've shown you the questionnaire. So how many? 15 variables. Okay, Prashanti is saying 15 variables. Any other answer? 25 variables. Vinay, you are closer. Any other answer? Okay. See here, you see I have age 1, sex 2, education 3, occupation 4, marital status 5, annual income 6, annual family income 7, locality 8, what's your experience 9. And this 15 includes on 10. So these are each variable 15. So 15 plus 9, how many? 9 plus 15. That's what Dr. Vinay Pandit was closer. So it is 24 research variables, 24 variables we have. Thank you, Rahul sir. So 24 variables we have. So when we have 24 variables, we have to create the 24 variables in the Excel, the SPSS. Now let us take age group. So how to create it? Go to the variable view and in the name, you can see age. Type age.
So there is a blackout. Thoda, I think others also can see the same, or only I am seeing it.
You mean to say that screen is not working?
Okay. Yeah,
probably there is an overlapping window. If you could share again by closing other windows.
Yeah, because yes.
I'm doing it. So I think you remember the questions now, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So here you can see here I've just typed age. We can put age group. And here what happens, first letter should not be numerical. Space will not be accepted. It is a one word. So age group, once you type age group, you can see numeric because it is going to be numeric. Width will be 8 by default. But decimals, you can make it 0 because there is no need for any decimal here. It's a full number. And here in the label we have to show name of the variable and labeling the variable. Two things we have to do. Name of the variable, we have to name the variable and label the variable in the sense like this will be your table name at the end. For example, here what we can do is classification of or age wise, maybe we can make it out. Age wise classification of respondents. We can make it out. Classification, spelling mistake. Yep, it's not type. Okay. So age-wise classification of respondents. So one is, first one you have to do is you have to name the variable. Second, you have to label the variable. And here, whatever you are giving, it will be your table name. Okay, at the end of the analysis, I'll show you. And the third thing is that you have to you have to assign the value. So if you go and click here, there will be a box. Here, what is the value? Normally in the age group, we have 3 age groups we had. Do you remember 3 age groups? So each age group has to be denoted with a number. It doesn't mean any meaning. It's denoted with a number. So one, what is the age group I have? Below 20 years. So I have to write below 20 years. Right? So I have to add. Then I'm assigning the value 2. It comes to 20 to 40 years. (20 to 40 years). I'm adding it. Then I have 3, third level. What is that? Above 40 years. I'm adding it that above 40 years. So now I have given 3 levels. We had only 3 levels, right? Based on the age group, we had below 20 years, 20 to 40 years, and above 40 years. So once it is done, all the levels are added. In some cases, there will be 3 level, 5 level. So it depends on, for example, education, we have given 5 levels. So give OK. That means here the value is assigned for each thing. Okay. And now getting back to data view, you can see a variable is created, age. Right. And like this, you have to create all the 24 variables. Once you create all 24 variables, then you will have all 24 variable names will be there. Like this, you can create for what do you call it as? The questionnaire. So you can create for all these 9 variables, and it is easy. In the same pattern, you have to create. And when it comes to the scale, and for your information, these 9 are unscaled data. These 9 are unscaled data. And these 15 are scaled data. For unscaled data, there are certain statistical tools we can use. For scaled data, there are certain statistical tools we can use it in the software. And now how to make this one, that I have to tell you. For example, I share an affectionate, warm relationship with this child. Now we have to convert this as one single word. I think, can I put it affection? Okay. So when I go there, every time I have to share. It's a problem. Anyway. So when I go there, for example, that 9 variable, 10th variable will be there. So I can give variable 1. Instead of the name, I can give variable 1. And here, I can just copy and paste that. I share an affectionate, the entire variable I have created. So instead of giving affectionate, you can give V1. See, all this will come in because you have to create this. For one time, I'm moving. And values here, there is a different things in scaled data. For strongly agree, we'll be giving 5. For strongly disagree, we'll be giving 1. So that is what the Likert scaling of what you call it as assigning a values based on the positiveness. So 1 will have strongly agree. Sorry, 5. It's supposed to be 5. We can edit it. We can just remove and we can say 5 strongly agree, 4 agree, 3 neutral, 2 disagree, and 1 strongly disagree. So like this, we have to create a value here. So once you come here, you can see here variable 1. Like this, you will be getting it. Okay, age group and variable 1, variable 2, variable 3. Like this, you will be having 24 variables. So you have to create 24 variables. Like this, variable 2, then variable 3, variable 4. Like this, you have to create variable 5. Like this, you have to create variable. How many variables you have? You have to create. So this is how the database has to be created. Once this database is created, you take one questionnaire and number it as 1. And under the age group, if the age group is between 22 or below 20, you put 1. Right? If the again the other things, gender, if the male it is 1, female it is 2. So whatever values you have assigned, you have to go ahead. If for variable 1, if somebody is given strongly agree, then you will be putting 5. You have to remember this. So like this one, take one collected questionnaire and you just fill all this. Right? So in this, like that, you have to go 200, 300 samples, whatever you are collecting it, you have to feed. So entering the data will take time. Creating the questionnaire and entering the data will take time. Then analysis will be in few seconds that I'm going to show you within next 15 minutes. Okay. So now what I have done is I have entered, created all for 24 variables, and I have entered, collected data from 30 and I have entered. So that data sheet is there. I think now you understand that after finding out the research topic and after getting it, what do you call it as, preparing a questionnaire based on the review, then you collect the data. Once you collected the data, you can feed it. Practically speaking, once your questionnaire is finalized, you create a database and keep it in your laptop or system. The moment every day you collect 10 questionnaire, you can enter. Rather than entering 300, 400 on a day, daily you will be collecting, no, in a PhD thesis or for any projects, you can enter. So first you have to create a database with the variable. As I told you, no, again I'm repeating, name the variable, label the variable and assign values. And one more thing here is that measure. You can leave it as scale, or you can leave it as, just leave it as scale. Don't go for anything because we have nominal scale, ordinal scale, interval scale, ratio scale. I think those basics people would have given you. So you just leave it as scale, the system will take it. The software will take it, whether it is a nominal or ordinal or interval. Don't bother about all those. Don't put your mind into this. Okay. So this is what the basics of how to open an SPSS, how to, what you call it as, create a database of variable view and how to enter the data. Can I show you now the ready-made file which I have? I'm just closing it. Again, I'll tell you how to do it. Don't worry. So I'm just going to open the file which I have. Usually what happens, no, any workshop, they'll directly open up the ready-made file and they start doing analysis. We may not understand. End of the day, we may not be in a position to feed the data. I think now I made it very clear how to create a questionnaire, how to feed it. Once I show my, what you call as file, you will understand that how it is going to. Are you able to see this? Can you put it in the chat box? Somebody can acknowledge.
Yes, sir.
You can see here age, sex, education, occupation, whatever that which we are having it. And you can see variable 1 to variable 15. And I have named all the variables and I have given the label of all the variables. And you can see the values here if you click. And for this strongly agree, strongly disagree, you can see here like this. And I have given scale. So what you do is once your questionnaire is finalized, you just prepare like this first. Once it is ready, then you go for a data view and you can, I think those one, right. So I have given, right. So this is how you need to enter the data. Okay. So now you see here, the one respondent's questionnaire will be entered like this. Second respondent questionnaire, third respondent questionnaire. So I have just collected 30. You can increase to whatever number you want. Okay. So it depends on the sample size you decide. I think there will be some other session to tell you how to calculate the sample size when you go for a sample survey. So once this questionnaire is ready, then you can go for analysis. Can we go for analysis, my dear friends? Can I move on? Right. So once it is ready, basically what I mean to say is first you have to check whether the data is complete, error free. The next step is after feeding it, you have to check whether it is error free. For that, what you have to do, you have to, I'm telling you the SPSS path. Analyze, descriptive statistics, frequency. Please go here. Analyze, just like taking a menu. Analyze, descriptive statistics, frequency. If you click here, you will get a dialog box. So it is just like a cooking pan for your information. Remember, the left side are like shelves. You will have everything, chili, dal, rice. So what you call it as everything in the one side. And this is like a cooking pan. For example, if you want to prepare chapati, you will not put everything on that. You will not put rice or everything on that. Whatever ingredients you require, you have to put it and you have to make it. Okay. So like this, you remember. To check out, I'm just giving Control A, whereby I'll get it in yellow color. I'm just moving. So I'm taking and putting it in my pan. I've moved everything. Now I want to check it out whether there is any error. How to check that? That is what now we are going for checking of errors. And when you go here, just give OK. Don't bother about anything. Just move from here. Just give OK. See, this is an output you will have. My dear friends, you see here, first you have to go horizontal check. I think I have to share again. Wait. I'm going for a new share of output. So once you do there, you will get this output. Are you able to see? You can zoom and see.
Yes,
so this output will be there. And when you see this output, horizontally we have to check. So our valid is 30. But here you see in the age group, there is one value missing. So we will check it out. What about others? Just go like this and move on. Check out whether we have 30 samples. 30 and there is no missing value 0. If you have like this, then there is no issue. But again, there is a missing value here, which how to correct that, I will tell you now. Purposefully I made. And then you have to go table by table, variable by variable. Now you see, whatever we have written on the label, it has come as a table, age group of respondent. And here you can see below 20 year, 5, 20 to 40 years, 20, above 40 years, 4, total 29. They are supposed to be 30. But there is one missing value, which we have to find out. Percentage. Sex, you see it is correct. Male is 21, female is 9, and total is 30, 70%, 30%, 100%. So like this, you have to check whether any missing value is there. If it is missing value, it will show like this. Then we have to correct it. Now you see, disagree for each variable you have got it. So there is no missing value except this first one. So then what you have to do? Again, you have to go to the data file. Okay, able to see the data file, right? So once you go to the data file, check it out, there is a missing value. You cannot simply type. You have to go and take the questionnaire and see what is the value. In that questionnaire, it was 1. Right? So once you feed it, then you give a save. It will be getting saved. Okay. So once it is ready, now again you have to check it out whether it is fulfilled. Again, analyze, descriptive statistics, frequency. And again you have to reset, Control A, move here to your pan, give OK. Now you see age group of the respondent is 30. So our data set is ready now. Once our data set is ready, then we have to go for preliminary analysis, the basics. What is the preliminary analysis? As I told you, we can do percentage analysis, that is univariate analytics. Percentage analysis, mean score analysis, and ranking. These 3 we can do for any PhD thesis. These 3 they may be asking you. So how to do that? That we need to understand. For scaled data, we need to do only mean score and ranking. For unscaled data, we need to do percentage analysis. So let us first do that 9 unscaled data. Okay. So we are going to do percentage analysis now. Is it okay? Right. Analyze, descriptive statistics, frequency. Right. So if you click here and give a right click, you will get a variable view. So you can display variable view, display variable labels. Especially you go for display variable names, it will be easy. So what is the unscaled data? Age is an unscaled data, right? Sex, education, occupation, marital status, income, family income, locality, work experience. So I'm moving here. Okay. I want it in percentage, nothing more. So again, right, I'm going for a percentage. Now you see age group all 30. Here you see age group 20%, 66.7%, 13.3%, 100. So like that, I got it. Percentage analysis is done. Sometimes you may require a chart for this. So what again you have to do? Analyze, descriptive statistics, frequency. You have already moved it. Go to the chart. There's a column. If you want a bar chart, you can pie chart, histogram. Let me go to pie chart. Okay. And when you say chart, there are two outcomes. Whether it has to be created by on frequency, whether it has to be created on percentage. Go to percentage and click continue. Okay. You okay. Then you will find charts for your table. You can see here. Now you see chart for your table. Then how to write interpretation. You will be doing it. So you have to take this table to Word and you have to take this chart to that and you have to write the interpretation. Okay. So now we'll move on to unscaled data. How to do that? So we got all charts here. If you need, usually in PhD thesis, either you give a table or you give the chart. Okay. Now moving on to the unscaled data, scaled data, how to get mean score analysis. So first we have understood percentage analysis and charting. Now we are going for mean score analysis. How to do that? Again, analyze, descriptive statistics. You go for frequencies and you go to statistics. You find mean. Just click mean, continue and reset it. We want only the variables. So go here, select all, shift and down arrow, take it to the pan for mean score analysis. Then you give OK. Now you see the mean score analysis, mean score. One second. Analyze, descriptive statistics, frequency. Okay, mean has to be selected. Continue, you okay. Now you see in the first table itself. So for first variable, when 4.20 is the mean. So mean will be from 0 to 5. Okay, how they are calculating it? Each responses into their weights and cumulative average, weighted average. So 4.20, 3.50 mean score, and what do you call it as? What do you call it? The 3.43, 3.30, 3.10, 3.57, 3.33. So it goes mean score. And the highest mean score is ranked number 1 and lowest mean score ranked low. So let us understand out of these 15 variables from this mean score and ranking, what do you have to understand? 4.20 is highest. That means that affection. If you want to maintain student-teacher relationship, a student-teacher relationship should be affectionate. If you are giving more importance to affectionate than any other thing, student-teacher relationship will be good, which is the lowest one, 2.87. The child comes to me for selecting the right choices of decision. We think that students will always come to us to get us right choice of decision. Please, that is the least one. Students are so clever. They will take their own decision. But teachers, we understand that we only have to give decision. No, we have to give only suggestions. I never ever give a decision to any student. I give only suggestions. So like this, you should be in a position to interpret. This is what univariate analytics. Rahul sir, it is 3 o'clock now. What we have to do? Can we proceed? Because I have another session also. Yeah.
So no problem. If at all anything to go on with, we can go on. No problem.
Right. I will do one thing. I will just do chi-square,
Yeah,
t-test and ANOVA. Then within 10 minutes we can wind up. Okay. Maybe any
absolutely.
questions. Okay.
Yes,
Because
yes,
that I'll do.
yes,
So these are
yes.
preliminary analysis, which we normally by default mandatorily will be doing in our things. One is percentage analysis, then mean score analysis, then ranking. Okay. So now we'll move on to bivariate analytics, where you'll be in a position to build a hypothesis. For example, if you are building an hypothesis to find out an association between two variables or differences of groups on a variable, then we can go ahead. For example, when you are going for a chi-square test, right? Why we use chi-square test? Whenever we want to compare two variables, whether there is any association. For example, here we have highly ranked variable is affection. We'll take one independent dependent variable and another independent variable is maybe age. By having age and that, how to build? For example, normally we say age doesn't have any association on the affection towards student-teacher relationship. If you are building an hypothesis like this, how to analyze that? So we have to go for chi-square test. So we are moving and understanding chi-square test now. Okay. Someone is having a battery problem. Look into this. So you have to go for descriptive statistics, and again you have to go to cross tab. So normally whenever we normally do cross tab. So analyze. I'm doing chi-square test. Descriptive cross tabs. Okay. So I have rows and columns. So rows normally what we give the variable that is a dependent variable, and column we give independent variable. So age. So I have given two. This is what two variables we take it. That's what variable one represents to affectionate. So age on affectionate. Okay. Exactly. You have to get into statistics where you see chi-square test over there. Just give OK. Continue. That's all. Simple. So two variables, row one, column one. Just you learn it in statistics books, right? And give statistics, the formula. Then you give OK. Now you see here, right? 30 it has taken. Now that affectionate, strongly agree, disagree. This for, see, when you go for a larger sample, you find more value. That's for understanding I'm making it. So age group on the side, then affectionate on the side. So now we have to see this Pearson's chi-square value. This we call as a p-value, 0.671 p-value, right? So here the standard guidelines is that we have to check this p-value based on our level of significance, right? Level of significance, for example, 5%. It is decimal, if you convert 0.05. If this value is p-value is less than 0.05, then there is an association, it is significant. If this value is more than 0.05, there is no association. That's the meaning. Here 0.671, that means it is more than 0.005. So it is not significant. So the standard norm is if the p-value is less than 5% level of significance, then it is significant. If the p-value is more than the level of significance, 5% level of significance, then it is not significant. Here it is not significant. So we can conclude saying that the age group and affection shown by a teacher towards a student doesn't have any association. That means that any age group can show any kind of affectionate or any level of affectionate to the students. So this is what chi-square we have to do. Okay. So moving on to t-test. How to do a t-test? See, whenever we have this, right? So sex, there are two levels, 1 and 2. And again, we can take it with affection. Whether male will show more affection or female will show more affection. Is there any difference between male and female in showing the affection? If you want to find out, then you have to build a hypothesis that the male and female is not having significant differences in showing affectionate on student-teacher relationship. That is a thing which you need to build. So how to do an analysis? Analyze, right? One more thing, chi-square works on the frequency, but the mean score, the differential statistics like t-test and f-test works on the mean value of a group, male mean value, female mean value on a variable. So compare means and you can go for a independent sample test. So what is the test variable here? The test variable is 1, that is affectionate, and the grouping variable is sex. So here you have to define group 1 is male, group 2 is female. Then I continue. Just give OK. Then you get t-test here. Okay. So t-test, you can see here, we have to not see the significant value of variance. We have to see the significant value of means, equality of means. So 0.670, that means again the same standard. 0.670 is more than 5% level of significance. So there is no significant difference between male and female on showing the affectionate on the students. We normally think no, female will be more affectionate to the students, male will not be, but there is no difference. That both are showing in their way. So we can conclude saying that there is no differences between male and female in showing the affectionate to the students. Okay. Suppose if these 3 levels are more than 2, then we need to apply F-test. We should not apply T-test. So we'll be seeing that. For example, age is 3 and the variable, we'll take it now. We are going to do F-test. Analyze, compare means, one-way ANOVA, F-test, ANOVA, right? So dependent variable is the variable 1 affectionate, and the factor is age. Okay, so we have given it. One more thing, we need to find out the mean score value also. So go for options, give descriptives, right? Then you give OK. Now you see ANOVA, you have a value 0.586. So from here we can understand that 3 different age groups does not have any differences in showing the affection, right? If it is significant, then we have to find out from the mean score which is influencing. So now till now we have seen how to prepare a questionnaire and how to make a basic analysis. If it is a scaled data, then you have to go for what you call as mean score and ranking. If it is an unscaled data, percentage. That is univariate analytics. If you want to find out association between 2 variables, then you have to go for chi-square test. I told you how to do that. If you want to find out the difference between 2 clusters, 2 groups, like age groups or gender, if that group is only 2, then you go for t-test. If that is more than 2, then you go for f-test. So this is what, and remaining multivariate, you can do it in the future based on the need of the people. Okay. So want of time I'm moving, otherwise I would have shown you how to draft it. Okay. Anyway. So with this note, we have seen the data analytics, and these are some of the required skills for a scientific researcher. Please learn yourself and try to do analytics by yourself. Probably the time is very little. At least for this itself, I need 2 hours, whereby we can make it very clearly. Probably if you want to update yourself, the methodology of research in social sciences, that is a one material which you can see. Dr. M. Ranganathan is my PhD guru, so you can go ahead. So discovering statistics using IBM SPSS statistics written by Andy Field will help you a lot to understand SPSS. So more detailed videos, around 4 to 5 hours videos are available on SPSS, how to do the entire analysis in my YouTube channel, that is Dr. V. Arulmurugan. If you type, it has crossed more than 1,000 views. subscribers. So please subscribe and just type Dr. B. Arulmurugan, whereby you can get, if you have a time, you can very clearly see how this analysis is easy, which you can make it out. So I strongly believe if people are not laughing at your goals are too small. So please learn more analytics, move on. I'm just moving on to an area called as commerce science. Beyond commerce, we need to think and ink commerce or intervention of science and technology is required in commerce, which we need to make it. So thanks a lot. If you have any queries, I'm bound to answer because it's almost like 10 minutes out of our scheduled time. I do have another session actually. Yeah, any doubts?
What was the first book that you showed, sir, if you could name it? First book that you showed.
A research book, you mean to?
Yes, yes, sir.
So,
by Dr. Ranganathan?
Yeah, I'm just showing it now. That way, if somebody wants, they can take a screenshot.
Yeah, I'm good.
So this is a book, Methodology of Research in Social Sciences, written by O.R. Krishnaswamy and M. Ranganathan. It's a very one of the good reference book. I have read more than 5 to 6 times. And whatever I'm having little knowledge on research, it is because of this book and the authors.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Sir, we'll quickly take a few questions.
Yeah, please.
There is one question by Dr. Vinay Pandit, our IQAC coordinator. Sir, can we export data to SPSS?
Yeah, you can. See, you can feed it in Excel. Then from Excel, you can export to SPSS. But in my opinion, why you want to do double work? So once you know that, see, the problem is like whenever anybody doesn't understand how to, because many workshops, they are not saying that how to feed the data in SPSS. Directly, they come out with the file and they go ahead with the analysis. That is why many learners may not have an idea. Now I have given an idea how to feed the data, how to enter the data. Instead of going for Excel, you can directly enter into SPSS. Sometimes if you have a secondary data, like you have downloaded from some of the what you call as databases like RBI or World Bank or IMF, from Excel you can directly export to SPSS and you can do analysis.
I hope, Vinay sir, it is satisfied. The next question is by Madam Mahalakshmi. A set of statements make a scale for measuring an attribute, isn't it? You had equated one statement to one variable.
Yeah, see, we have done only basic analysis. Each variable, the basic variable, each item can be a variable. If any, in a scale, if more number of variables are homogeneous in nature, then we have to go for factor analysis, and that will give you a mega factor, and that may be called as variable when you are taking to a further analysis.
Fine, sir. One question by Miss Litton. What is the measurement scale of Likert scale, sir? Is it ordinal, ratio, or interval?
It is an interval scale.
Interval scale. Then I think there was a query by Madam D'Souza. IT team, if you can unmute Madam D'Souza, please. IT team?
Yes, can
Yes, madam, you are audible. Yes.
sir, you have said that we can import data, sir, from Excel
Yes, madam.
because it is on Google Forms and there is already an Excel sheet which is ready-made prepared by Google Forms, sir.
Yeah.
So if I want to just use that same Excel sheet and I don't want to use the data which is already found on the Google Forms, because Google Forms already do the frequency tables and charts, but I don't want that. I want the Excel sheet data onto my SPSS, and then I will add the value labels. Do I need to add the value labels, and how is that to be done?
Yeah, same day. You have given an answer by yourself. See, once you have an Excel sheet generated by the Google Forms, and
Yes.
you can just save it in your computer system and you can export to SPSS. Once you export to SPSS, we need to define the variables. Then only when you are going for analysis with SPSS, it will give you with the same identity of labels which you are feeding over there.
So we have to type in our value labels and we have to type in the question numbers on the left side, right?
Exactly, exactly.
Sir, and there also comes out like a decimal point or question mark at the end of the data. Why does that arise in SPSS?
Can you repeat again?
After, let's say there are around 250 to 300 respondents. After 300 respondents, if you have selected even little extra space, there is a dot that comes on the lines after the 301 or 302 respondents.
Yeah. It means that you have wrongly created, you may be wrongly created a variable after that. That is why it is showing that. You can delete it actually. That's not an issue.
Okay.
You can delete
Thank
it.
you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. One question, sir. What is the difference by Dr. Vandana? What is the difference between cluster and discriminating analysis?
Yeah, okay. See, we need to understand the purpose of each analysis, then the need of our research. If the objective of our research and the purpose of tool is same, then we can apply. That's a simple logic which I apply. In that case, when you say cluster analysis, it's very simple. When you have a 300, 400 respondents, and if you want to group them on certain certain basis on which they have responded, then for that we use cluster analysis. For example, male and female already clustered. There is no need for cluster analysis. For example, based on these perspectives, 15 variables I have given no, and these are perspectives on student-teacher relationship. On this, I can group the teachers. I can cluster the teachers. For example, for that we need to do factor analysis. With the help of factor score only, we can do cluster analysis. Once you are clustered, for example, 3 groups you have defined, and whether those 3 groups are independent. To find out that, we use discriminant analysis, whereby it will tell you for each group what is the discriminant percentage. It should be more than 95 to 100. Then only it is called as independent groups.
I hope the answer is given by sir. Sir, one last question.
Please.
By Eudora madam, is this SPSS software free? I think.
No, it's paid. It's not free. Since my institution has bought it, I'm using it. There is a trial version available. So whereby you can go ahead with the trial version, or you can use any institution version. It's very costly to purchase by individual.
Perfect. I think all questions have been taken. I would request the IT team to kindly put up the poll for today's session in sir's presence so that we can have the answers also.
Sir, we have just included one extra poll from previous day because some people face the network issue. Okay,
no
just
problem.
wanted
No
to
problem.
inform.
No
Yeah,
problem.
yeah.
No problem. And I will announce it formally here that from tomorrow we will be having links being sent day-wise. Okay. Yes, the poll is on the screen. I request all to kindly go by the poll.
If more than 50% have already given the poll answers.
Okay.
Right. Rahulji, can I say the answer, or I need to wait?
No, sir.
We will share the results, sir. After
Sir,
that,
we'll
you can
share
do
the
it, sir.
results. We'll share
Within
the
2
results.
minutes, sir.
No, sir, actually, sir is having a session after this. That's why he's a
Okay,
bit
okay.
tied up.
Yes, yes, sir.
No, I was
We can
thinking
share-
that it will get over by 3:30, so I have a session at 3:30. No problem. Till 3:30, there is no issue. I can wait.
Sir,
only
actually
10
what
people are
happened is,
remaining and then we will end.
sir,
Only
this
sir,
problem happened for the first time after 4 days. That
It's
is the
okay. It's
technical
okay.
glitch.
It all happens, Rahulji. No issues. हो सकता है ऐसी.
My team just told me that the quote that you gave by Azim Premji, it applies to you. So it happens because the link suddenly got corrupted, and that was a recurring link. So from tomorrow we will be having new links being generated day-wise.
You people are doing really amazing job to empower the researchers. So that's really great thing.
Thank you. Jyoti madam, I think are we all set?
Sir, we will just wait for 1 minute more because already 60 participants have given, only 13 are left. So I just request 13 people to quickly give the poll. Ma'am,
I think Bide madam is the co-host, ma'am. Ma'am, I think you're the co-host, so you will not see the mail.
Yes.
You will not see the poll. No problem, ma'am. We are all into the team of organizing committee, so no worries.
So after 30 seconds, I will end the poll because there are 3 questions and almost 3 minutes we have given.
Yes,
so
yes, absolutely.
So 30 seconds more participants and then I'm ending with the poll. Still 14 participants have not attempted the poll. Ma'am, I think you have joined late. That is why you are not able to see the poll. We have launched the poll and 60 people have given the answer, ma'am.
Because of network, I'm not able to give poll and feedback on Saturday. Okay. Lavanya, madam, we will take the cognizance of it. You can approach the IT team in person, madam.
Sir, now I will end the poll. Okay, as we have given 3 minutes, more than 3 minutes for the poll.
Yes, sir. Please share the results. Yes, sir.
Actually, for poll question number 1, what is the need for data analytics software in research? So many of us, we use software, right? So ultimately, like the answer is all the above. I think the people have given, and some people has to think, we test the hypothesis, we make a data analysis, as well as we build new model. That is where same neural network, all those things comes in the advanced level. So we build model also. So the answer is all the above. So all 3 we do it with the analytical software.
Analytics.
Right. And the second thing is very simple question. I think still few people have missed it. So analyzing more than 2 variables simultaneously in a research is multivariate data analytics, multivariate analytics. So more than 2. That means if you have a third variable in a research, then you go for multivariate analytics. And that is what hybrid analytics, just to few, nothing else.
Yes.
Okay,
and the last question is all of the above. Yes. So no worries. Thank you, sir. On this note, I would request Ms. Vishakha Walia, madam, Assistant Professor, Department of Mathematics and Statistical Techniques, to kindly propose the formal vote of thanks.
One second, sir. Sorry. Thanks a lot to the entire team, participants, and ICSSR, especially the director, for giving an opportunity. Continuously, I'm just linking into ICSSR. It's really blessed. And Rahul sir, in the future, if you have any other analytical program, I'll be happy to share my knowledge.
Absolutely. Yes, sir. Definitely, sir. Thank you so much.
Dhanyabad.
Over to you, Vishakha, ma'am.
Thank you, Rahul sir. Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of the entire organizing committee of ICSSR, WRC, and Lala Lajpat Rai College of Commerce and Economics, I extend my heartfelt vote of thanks to Dr. Arulmurugan sir for his valuable inputs about basics of data analysis using SPSS. Sir, even though it was a post-lunch session, you got us involved by the activity for explaining data analytics. Your initial description about SPSS made it easy to get along with its practical working, and your demonstration gave us an insight into nitty-gritties of its applications. And as we have a mixed crowd, sir, you very aptly explained the basics of SPSS. I thank you once again and for sparing your valuable time. And I apologize for the technical glitch and inconvenience posed due to it. We lost a lot of time. Otherwise, I'm sure we could have got much more from you, sir.
Yes.
But we wish to catch up with it soon, sir. Thank you.
Yes. Yeah, those 10 minutes were lost, but no worries, sir. Next time for sure. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
I'm leaving.
Yeah. Sir, I'll get in touch with you.
Yeah, please.
I request all the participants to kindly note that the day-wise link will be sent on your registered email address. So you all can quickly go to your mail. Okay, by tonight, you all will get your links on daily basis, because the present recurring link has